However, the chakra of the Nine Tails, known as the embodiment of hatred, was extremely violent. As soon as Naruto touched it, negative emotions flooded his mind, and his body began to manifest the Nine Tails cloak. Just as Naruto was about to lose control, a beautiful red-haired woman appeared. The naive Naruto initially thought she was the true form of the Nine Tails, only to receive a beating from her. The woman, Kushina Uzumaki, then used the Uzumaki clan's sealing technique to subdue the Nine Tails once again. She and Naruto then began to talk in his mental world, creating a heartwarming reunion between mother and son. During their conversation, Naruto asked about his parents' past. Kushina, as a transfer student, joined Minato's class and expressed her dream of becoming the first female Hokage. This impressed Minato, but at the time, Kushina only saw him as a wimpy boy and didn't think he was reliable. Due to her bright red hair, her classmates nicknamed her Tomato, and they bullied her by pulling her hair. Before Minato could come to her rescue, Kushina had already taken care of them. The beaten bullies yelled that she was an outsider. Indeed, Kushina was not originally from Konoha. She was brought to the village to be a Jinchuriki because of her ability to seal the Nine Tails. Kushina didn't truly want to become Hokage. She just wanted a sense of belonging and to see Konoha as her home, not to be treated as an outsider. One day, Kushina was kidnapped by the Hidden Cloud Village. Although she didn't believe Konoha would come to save her, she left a trail of her hair as a clue. Just as Kushina was about to lose all hope, Minato appeared, swiftly defeating the numerous high-ranking ninjas involved in the kidnapping. Kushina was so numbed by the situation that she didn't even realize his arrival. Minato then picked up the nearly unconscious Kushina and leaped toward the moon. Kushina recalled that Minato was the first person to compliment her red hair, which made her fall in love with her hair and with Minato. Indeed, Minato was the top charmer in the Hidden Leaf Village, and Naruto listened to the story with great interest. The appearance of his mother helped Naruto eliminate the negative influence of the Nine Tails. With Kushina's sealing technique, Naruto successfully extracted the Nine Tails chakra and entered Nine Tails mode for the first time. After Naruto absorbed the Nine Tails chakra and attained this new form, Kushina began to tell him about the past. The Uzumaki clan, despite their expertise in sealing techniques and their distant relation to the Senju clan, Land of Whirlpools was early destroyed due to the ongoing wars. Senju Hashirama, the first Hokage, also utilized the power of the Uzumaki clan when sealing the Nine Tails. The first Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails was his wife, Uzumaki Mito. Similarly, Kushina was selected from the Uzumaki clan to come to Konoha, and like Mito, she was born with the ability to seal the Nine Tails. When Mito was nearing death, the young Kushina was brought to Konoha to inherit the responsibility of being the Nine Tails Jinchuriki. On her deathbed, Mito advised Kushina that although being the vessel for the Nine Tails was painful, it could bring happiness if filled with love. True to this, Kushina led a fulfilling life after meeting Minato. However, the seal of a Jinchuriki becomes extremely weak during childbirth. Fearing that the Nine Tails might break free, the third Hokage suggested that Kushina give birth in a remote location, accompanied by his wife Uwako Sarutobi. During this period, his Umbu team was tasked with their protection. Meanwhile, a masked man, as if he had planned it all, appeared outside the facility and silently killed the guard. As the baby cried for the first time, Naruto was born. Before Minato could reinforce the Nine Tails seal, the mysterious man had already taken Naruto and held him hostage. The man then threw Naruto into the air, revealing explosive tags hidden under the baby's blanket. Minato had no choice but to use Flying Thunder God technique to save Naruto. As a consequence of this diversion, third Hokage's wife, Uwako, was killed, and Kushina fell into the hands of the masked man. What Kushina didn't expect was that the mysterious man under the mask possessed the Sharingan, which allowed him to control the Nine Tails. Using this power, he extracted the Nine Tails from Kushina's body. Normally, a Jinchuriki dies when separated from their tailed beast, but Kushina, being from the Uzumaki clan with their strong life force, didn't die immediately. Just as the mysterious man attempted to kill Kushina while controlling the Nine Tails, Minato appeared. For the first time, his eyesight displayed a murderous intent. He rescued Kushina and brought her back home, placing her beside Naruto. Then he donned his fourth Hokage cloak and set out. The Nine Tails, now unleashed, began destroying everything in Konoha with overwhelming force. Minato arrived just in time to teleport the tailed beast bomb to a distant location using his Flying Thunder God technique. At this moment, the mysterious man appeared again, trying to grab Minato. Luckily, Minato reacted quickly, countering with a kunai and forcing the man to phase. When the masked man attempted to use Kamui at close range to absorb Minato, Minato sensed the danger and used the Flying Thunder God to escape. The masked man pursued him relentlessly. This mysterious individual could bypass Konoha's barrier without being detected and control the Nine Tails, which made Minato realize that only one person could do this, Uchiha Madara. Recognizing the threat posed by the masked man, their battle continued. Minato couldn't attack the man while he was phasing, but he noticed that the man had to materialize to attack. Minato exploited this weakness by creating an opening and throwing a kunai through the man's intangible body. As the man thought he had an opportunity, Minato used the advanced version of Flying Thunder God Level 2, successfully slamming the man into the ground. When the masked man considered retreating, Minato unexpectedly teleported in front of him and used a sealing technique to sever his connection with the Ninetales. After the masked man fled, swearing revenge, Minato rushed to the Ninetales location. He summoned the Chief Toad and used the Flying Thunder God to teleport the Ninetales outside the village. Kushina also arrived and used her adamantine sealing chains to restrain the beast. Believing that the mastermind behind this attack would bring future calamities to the ninja world, Minato decided to sacrifice himself to seal the Ninetales. After successfully sealing part of the Ninetales' soul, Minato summoned the altar for the 8 trigram seal. The weakened Ninetales, in a final desperate act, swung its claws toward Naruto. In the end, Minato and Kushina used their bodies to shield Naruto from the attack. Before their deaths, both Minato and Kushina sealed a portion of their chakra inside Naruto. After bidding farewell to his mother, Naruto completed his final trial. In this new form, he not only invigorated Yamato's would release, but also gained the ability to sense malice in his surroundings. As a result, Kisame, who was hiding inside Samahata, was quickly exposed. Surprisingly, Naruto managed to subdue Kisame with a single punch when Kisame tried to escape, although Naruto ended up with his foot stuck in a wall from the impact. Even though Naruto demonstrated his strength, Kisame, who was very weak, managed to escape. He encountered Guy standing by the waterfall, which startled Guy. Guy immediately kicked Kisame, sending him flying. Having just emerged from Samahata, Kisame was still very weak and quickly retreated into the water. Using Samahata to absorb the chakra of Killer Bee and Aoba Yamashiro, he transformed into a shark and tried to flee. Guy then opened the 6th gate, and Killer Bee launched Guy using his transformed arm as a propeller. While in mid-air, Guy used his Ninja Turtle as a springboard to quickly catch up to Kisame. To ensure the information he had collected was delivered, Kisame released the 1,000 feeding sharks technique. Guy attempted to stop the information leak with his morning peacock, but the sheer number of sharks overwhelmed him. In response, Guy opened the 7th gate, the Gate of Wonder. The immense power caused the ocean water to recede. Guy then unleashed his ultimate attack, the Daytime Tiger. Kisame countered with his water-released giant shark bullet technique, which can absorb the opponent's chakra. However, Kisame miscalculated one thing. Guy's attack was purely physical and did not contain chakra. Thus, the giant shark bullet was rendered useless. Not only was Kisame struck head-on by the Daytime Tiger, but all of his 1,000 feeding sharks were also shredded by the attack. The impact of the Afternoon Tiger was so powerful that even Naruto and his group on Turtle Island felt the shockwave. This illustrated the enormous strength behind the technique. Staring at Guy, who was emanating blue flame, Kisame was perplexed as to why his chakra-absorbing technique failed against Guy's attack. Guy explained that the Daytime Tiger was formed purely from the air pressure created by the speed and power of his punch, which took the shape of a white tiger due to its sheer force. Seeing Kisame's constant schemes, Guy became very angry, and the consequences were severe. With one powerful punch from Guy, Kisame lost consciousness completely. After capturing Kisame alive, Aoba Yamashiro invaded his mind. From Kisame's memory, it was revealed that he was once a member of the Mist Village's Umbu. During an escort mission, they were ambushed by Leaf Village Ninja, led by none other than the infamous interrogation officer, Marino Ibiki. Faced with overwhelming odds and unable to protect his comrade, Kisame killed his injured teammates to prevent any information from being leaked. Eventually, Kisame killed the traitorous Fuguki Suikazan and took possession of Samahata. It was then that Yagura Karatachi appeared, inviting Kisame to join the Akatsuki. It turned out the Mizukage he had loyally served was nothing more than a puppet controlled by someone else. Just as Kisame was about to reveal the identity of the masked man, he bit off his own tongue and, with a final scream, broke free from Yamato's restraint. He used the water prison technique to trap himself, ensuring no information would be extracted from him. In his final act, he summoned sharks with his remaining chakra to devour himself, preventing any enemy from gaining information. In his last moments, Kisame remembered a conversation with Itachi, reflecting that one only sees their true self at the very end, finding meaning in death. Though Kisame died, he had set a trap within the intelligence scroll. When Guy opened it, a water prison ensnared everyone, leaving them helpless as a shark swam away with the intelligence. Staring at the pool of blood, Guy forever remembered the name Kisame Hoshigaki. Under the dark shadows, the masked man had already formed an alliance with Kabuto. Initially, when Kabuto sought out the masked man for cooperation, the masked man was disdainful and even considered killing him. Despite Kabuto reviving the members of the Akatsuki right before his eyes, failed to impress the masked man. It wasn't until Kabuto summoned a mysterious coffin alone that the masked man's composure was disrupted. Only then did he reluctantly agree to team up with Kabuto. However, both were wary of each other, other, each harboring their own ulterior motive, relying solely on a balance of power and mutual restraint. Kabuto's interference forced the masked man to accelerate his plan. He secretly headed to the Hidden Rain village, concealing his actions from White Zetsu and Kabuto, intending to retrieve Nagato's Rinnegan. Konan had been waiting for him there for a long time. When the masked man asked about Nagato's body, Konan led him to the sea outside the village. The masked man quickly grasped Konan's intention and questioned her betrayal of the Akatsuki. Konan countered, stating that the Akatsuki was originally founded by Yahiko, and that the masked man had stolen Yahiko's life's work. She declared that Nagato's Rinnegan was the village's treasure, and she would not allow it to fall into the hands of a deceitful person. Thus, the battle between Konan and the masked man began. Konan was the first to attack. As a member of the Akatsuki, she was well aware of the masked man's ability, including his unique space-time ninjutsu, which lasted for only 5 minutes. Understanding that Konan aimed to force him into a corporeal state by overwhelming him with the sheer number of paper bombs, the masked man played along by deactivating his intangibility. He grabbed Konan amidst the rain of paper, intending to use Kamui to absorb her. However, to his surprise, Konan had hidden countless explosive tags among the paper. Abandoning his plan to absorb Konan, he focused on absorbing the explosion instead, but the blast still destroyed one of his arms and half of his mask. This forced the masked man to admit that he had underestimated Konan. Before he could react further, Konan activated a preset trap, splitting the sea beneath them in two. It turned out that this part of the sea was composed of 600 billion explosive tags. We know that the paper person of God technique's disguise is so effective that even the Mangekyo Sharingan cannot detect it. Trapped in the pitfall, the masked man had no choice but to use his intangibility, but his ability could only last for 5 minutes. However, the 600 billion explosive tags would continue exploding for a full 10 minutes. Just as Konan thought the masked man was doomed, he removed the mask from his right face, and at the cost of permanently blinding one of his Sharingan, activated the Uchiha clan's forbidden jutsu, Izanagi, to rewrite reality. Thus, he survived the explosion and unexpectedly appeared behind Konan, severely injuring her with a black rod. At this moment, the perpetual reign of Amage Cure ceased, giving way to sunshine and a rainbow. Determined to uphold the ideals of Nagato, Yahiko, and Naruto, Konan mustered her remaining strength for one last fight. However, in the end, the masked man used his Sharingan's Genjutsu to extract the location of Nagato's body from her. Afterward, Konan's body floated on the sea, and the blood-stained paper fragment drifted to the small house where the three of them once lived together. Afterward, Obito took Kabuto to tour his army of 100,000 White Zetsu, cultivated using Hashirama's cell. Upon learning Naruto's exact location, Kabuto volunteered to go to Turtle Island to capture Yamato, aiming to enhance the overall strength of the White Zetsu army. Meanwhile, the 5 Kage had also received news that the Nine Tails hiding place had been compromised. Even though Naruto's island was a giant mobile turtle, there was still a risk of exposure if the enemy came searching. At this point, Inoki stepped up. Given his ability to fly and his formidable strength, he was undoubtedly the best candidate for reinforcement. Kabuto, accompanied by the reanimated Deidara, set off to search for the island and coincidentally encountered the flying Tsuchikage Inoki. Deidara greeted his former master with a clay bomb, destroying his rock clone. Upon recognizing Deidara's reanimated body, Inoki began mocking him, saying, "You've fallen so low that you died at the hands of Konoha's younger generation, and yet you still have the nerve to shamelessly come back to life." Hearing that Sasuke was still alive, Deidara was instantly triggered. While they bickered, Kabuto's second-generation Manda had successfully ensnared the giant turtle. Then, with the help of Deidara's explosive clay, small jellyfish, they blew the giant turtle completely upside down. Kabuto then decided to enter the turtle, leaving Deidara behind. Inoki prepared to use dust release to disintegrate the enemy, but Akatsuchi stopped him, warning that dust release would also harm the turtle. Meanwhile, Kuratsuchi used cement dissolution to successfully restrain Kabuto. Just as Aoba Yamashiro was about to infiltrate Kabuto's mind, Kabuto shed his skin to escape and swallowed Yamato in the process. He then hid inside Manda's nostril and fled the scene. Deidara, hovering in midair, retreated as well. Seeing the dire situation, Inoki decided to carry the Turtle Island back to the headquarters of the Hidden Cloud Village. Although the allied shinobi forces boasted an impressive 80,000 strong army and had Konoha's top strategist, Shikaku Nara, to devise their battle plans, Obito's side was equally formidable. Obito's forces included dozens of Kage-level fighters, an enhanced army of 100,000 White Zetsu, bolstered by Yamato, and countless high-ranking Jonin-level warriors. On the surface, it seemed like Obito held the absolute advantage. However, when considering the strategic deployment of forces, it was unclear which side held the true upper hand. As the Fourth Great Ninja War began, the 5 great nations' allied shinobi forces held a final mobilization rally. At the same time, Obito ordered his 100,000 White Zetsu army to sink underground for covert movement. Kabuto also deployed his Edo Tensei forces, sending out an advanced team including Sasori, Deidara, Shin, Sai's brother, and a Mist Village ninja for a surprise attack. Anko, who was scouting outside Akatsuki Satsuki's base, was captured by Kabuto, and the team members returning with information were ambushed and annihilated by Deidara. Coincidentally, Kankuro's squad, which included Sai and Omoi, was also in surprise attack force team. They entered enemy territory ahead of the main forces to establish a base and set up an ambush. As the captain, Kankuro remained calm, reminding everyone that their enemies were Edo Tensei warriors with immortal bodies, making conventional attacks ineffective. Only sealing or binding techniques could stop them. The two ambush units clashed. Saji, who had sensing abilities, quickly spotted their injured comrade Muta Abarame. Despite Kankuro's warning, the inexperienced Saji rushed to check on Muta, unaware that Muta had already been manipulated by Sasori and stuffed with explosive clay by Deidara. Saji was used as a human shield by Muta, who charged into the base. Fortunately, Kankuro's team, aided by a Byakugan user, and with the cooperation of the Iwagakure ninja using Earth Release, they lowered the base underground, successfully avoiding the explosion. Meanwhile, Sai encountered his brother Shin in the air. Omoi successfully cut the connection between Sasori and his human puppets with a feint attack, significantly reducing Sasori's combat power. Kankuro had Sasori's original puppet body, giving them an advantage. Sasori then controlled Sai's brother, Shin, to fight, taking advantage of the immortality of the reanimation jutsu. Working together with Deidara's explosive clay shield, they turned Shin into a human bomb. Fortunately, Kankuro quickly used a defensive puppet to wrap around the bomb, reducing the impact of the explosion. Enraged by seeing his beloved brother used as a bomb, Sai unleashed his super beast imitating drawing, summoning two massive Arahant statues. The statues punched Sasori and Deidara into Kankuro's trap. Deidara, attempting to escape by self-destructing, was struck by Omoi's lightning blade, rendering his explosive technique ineffective. Sasori, convinced by Kankuro, broke free from Edo Tensei's control, while Deidara remained trapped in Kankuro's puppet, unable to escape. Meanwhile, Killer Bee was teaching Naruto how to fully transform into a tailed beast. However, since Naruto and the Nine Tails were not yet in sync, making significant progress in a short time was challenging. During this training, Naruto demonstrated the Rasengan, a technique invented by Minato Namikaze. The Eight Tails was surprised to see that this technique was remarkably similar to the tailed beast bomb. Consequently, he taught Naruto to incorporate tailed beast chakra into the Rasengan, thus creating a lower-powered version called the mini-tailed beast bomb. After capturing Anko, Kabuto didn't kill her. Instead, he intended to absorb the power of her cursed seal to strengthen his control over the Edo Tensei. It was evident that Obito still didn't fully trust Kabuto. To ensure loyalty, he ordered Kabuto to demonstrate the entire process of Edo Tensei. Kabuto, aware that opposing Obito and his Rinnegan was unwise, complied with the demonstration, which was quite brutal. In the process, Fu Yamanaka and Torian Aburame, who were in the Kamui dimension, were instantly killed. Kabuto also revealed how to undo the Edo Tensei technique. Despite this, Obito secretly placed a White Zetsu clone on Kabuto as a precaution. Meanwhile, White Zetsu, emerging from underground like termites, engaged in fierce combat with Kuratsuchi's troop. Kakashi and Guy's team encountered the reanimated Zabuza and other former foes. After a brief reunion and exchange of words, Kabuto strengthened his control over the Edo Tensei, cutting their conversation short. Haku, shedding tears, asked Kakashi to stop him once again. Under Kabuto's control, Zabuza initiated the Hidden Mist Jutsu.